Good morning, good evening, whatever time of day it is for you. Welcome to this thing that I do called Thor's Entertainment. I am Thor, and today I am going back into the Kombat League for a Fatal Friday video. And Fatal Friday is the series I do where I go into the Kombat League for Mortal Kombat 1, and I try to earn unique finishers for the main roster fighters and the cameo fighters. This week I am breaking out the duo of Nitara and Subzero again. This time, though, I am trying to shoot for Nitara's Brutality, Embrace the Pain. Now, Embrace the Pain is the Brutality version of her throw. And whenever you do land that throw and you activate the Brutality, well, we get to finally see Nitara making some excellent use of her wings, taking the opponent into the air, and deciding to herself, you know what, you would look a lot better with your upper torso removed from your legs. You'll see exactly what I mean by the end of this bout. So in this fight, we are going to be facing off against somebody using Reiko, and they are pairing up their Reiko with the Sareena kameo. And at this point, I've done this a few different times, so it should be no surprise that I like to call out whenever something unique is happening in relation to this Fatal Friday series. And on this occasion, I am pointing out that I am facing off against a Reiko user in one of these videos for the very first time. It's definitely not the first time I've fought against a person using Reiko in the Kombat League, but the first time I'm actually getting to highlight it in one of these videos, and that's kind of awesome. With that being said, there are only a few fighters left that I have not faced off against in one of these videos. It's a very small list, and I am not counting the DLC fighters yet to be released. Although I'm quite certain that I'll be facing off against plenty of them pretty much any time they're being released, since that's kind of like the unofficial That Character Day. I definitely cannot begin to describe how many people using Omni-Man I faced off against whenever he was first released, so I'm not worried about capturing footage of me fighting against somebody using a DLC character. Now, towards the very end of this second round, I do start to do the blood sacrifice with Nitara an exceptional amount, or at least a little bit, and that's because I was still trying to get that taste of blood brutality for her using the bloody bolt attack that you can only use whenever the blood sacrifice is active. Since I was still fishing for that brutality and I wasn't 100% sure if this was going to be the Embrace the Pain video or potentially the Taste of Blood video, well, you're going to see me do that every now and then. But yeah, if you see me just not finishing the fight whenever I have a perfectly good opportunity, that would be why. Oh, and one thing I did notice in this fight was that in back-to-back rounds, Reiko tried using their fatal blow against me, so I began to think to myself that might be something they try to consistently do. Now, that's kind of sort of mention-worthy because I think Reiko is one of, if not the only character whose fatal blow is a throw. At least I think that's right. So you can't just block it. So whenever I see that fatal blow activate, I just try to jump out of the way as quickly as I can so that Reiko cannot grab me and then get a guaranteed 350 damage or more against me. I mean, any character taking 350 damage is going to be pretty significant and definitely suck, but it's going to suck especially hard for Nitara, who has some of the lowest health in the game. It might be the lowest, but I don't know that for a fact. So yeah, I am not interested in losing more than 1/3 of my health in one go like that. At least not if I can prevent it by just simply jumping out of the way. Which is something I should be able to do pretty easily with Nitara, considering she has wings and can do that air dash, even though I really suck at doing it. So hopefully I can keep that streak alive if this person tries doing that fatal blow in future rounds. Overall, the first match went pretty smoothly with me winning very decisively in the very first round, and the second round was a lot closer, but that was mostly due to me screwing around and trying to get that taste of blood brutality instead of just finishing the match. So even though the second round kind of was a lot closer health-wise, that was a self-inflicted little scenario that I could have prevented, so it wasn't as close as perhaps it seemed. However, here in the second match, the very first round does end up going to Reiko, who definitely won that one very decisively against me. I could not get anything going there, and I just got completely messed up. Let's see if I can rebound here. And similar to other characters you do not get to see highlighted in these videos very often, I am not familiar with the matchup all that much. Because it's not just necessarily limited to these videos, even though I do fight them more frequently than we see in these videos. For them not to appear in anything typically implies I don't see them that much in the Kombat League. And that is true for Reiko. Now, Reiko used to be a pretty popular pick back when this game first came out. You would see people pairing him up with the Darius cameo very frequently, and they could get some pretty insane damage if the person knew what they were doing with them. But eventually that kind of got patched and was not as devastating as it was at the time, so you still see people occasionally bust out that pairing, but it's nowhere near as much as you used to. And just in general, the usage of Darius and Reiko kind of fell off of a cliff after that. It's kind of unfortunate for both of them. But then again, I am just one person. Maybe people use these characters way more than I realize, and I'm just over here talking about an unusual occurrence where I don't see them. But I get the feeling that's probably not the case. But it was kind of cool to see at the time because neither of these characters are really used anymore, and it really highlights how awesome it was to see these two characters who aren't really all that great under normal circumstances getting used together and being really good. Because you don't really see anyone using Darius with other characters, or at least I don't. And I just in general don't see people using Reiko. So when you get the two outcast characters paired together and kicking ass, well, that's just pretty awesome to see. Now, my opponent went in a bit of a different direction considering he decided to use the Sareena cameo with Reiko instead, but clearly they are making very good use out of it considering this Reiko individual managed to defeat me in the very last match. So yeah, me winning the first match of the set may have been something of a lulling into false security scenario, because that second one did not go anywhere near as smoothly. And there it is again. Reiko pulled out the fatal blow, but this time around I was not quick enough to jump away and he landed it. So yeah, that sucks. That is going to win him the very first round of this third and final match to win the entire set. And yeah, suddenly he only needs one more round to win it all. Not a great situation to be in, but a part of me is pretty excited to be commentating on this in hindsight because the last few videos I have done were nowhere near this interesting. They were kind of one-sided. Like the last few videos I have done, I don't know what order they're being released in, but the last few that I did voiceovers with prior to this, they lasted to about the 7-minute mark and were just kind of all in my favor. Now this isn't going to be like crazy long of a video or anything, but it's nice to be commentating on something where it's actually kind of close, a little bit of a photo finish, a bit of a grand finale scenario, and I'll take it. It's nice to have something a little bit exciting to watch again in hindsight because I kind of forgot about this fight and did not realize just how close it ended up being. Definitely would not have gotten that impression after just seeing the very first match of the video, and things turned around very drastically after that. And by drastically, I mean I lost 3 consecutive rounds to Reiko and now find myself in a scenario where I'm finishing up this round with both of us being below 30% health, but fortunately I stopped the losing streak. I end up taking this second round, and I force a third and final round to not only win this match, but win the entire set of the Kombat League matchup. Reiko made a pretty great statement with those 3 consecutive round wins, and then I won that very close second round, so you would expect some crazy exciting thing to happen in this third and final round, but, well, that's not going to happen. This third round does not end up being close. The only close thing about it is when Nitara grabs Reiko close to take him into the air, speaking of which...
Your death is written in blood.
Brutality! Nitara wins.
And there it is, the Embrace the Pain brutality for Nitara. We managed to get it after all, and not only did we get it, we got it in the final match of the entire set for this bout in the Kombat League. We ended up winning it all with that brutal. You love to see it. But yeah, that is going to be it for this video since I managed to get that brutality. I'll go ahead and show it one more time at the very end of this outro, but that is going to be it for me. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to check out some other stuff on the Thor's Entertainment channel where I have other Mortal Kombat related videos like these Fatal Friday videos and playthroughs of the story modes for other Mortal Kombat games. Anyway, that about does it. Take care, and I will see you next time.
Your death is written in blood.
Brutality! Nitara wins.